Is mind different from brain? Well, whether this mind, so-called mind, whether this is different from this physical structure brain or not, or because there is so much controversy, some say it is same and some say no. Okay, that part. Is mind different from self? Self means the loose word for soul, atma, whatever. So don't go too much into specific words. Try to get the essence what trying to say. So it's really different or mind is same because in Western tradition we have difference in Eastern that they say mind conscious everything basically beyond this physical structure which we can touch. So is mind different from self and does external world really exist? There is also sometimes a question in philosophy, though it is not really a question in science, but still we live little bit. And then what Vedanta talks about mind as per our Vedic Indian philosophy as well as our contemplative practices, experiences, and then some remarks to share. So we'll go into this. How do you take out this keyboard? Ah. Okay, so first, okay, so these are the some references. Quantum Physics and Consciousness volume we produced about a couple of years ago. Very good book. And this is the dialogue with Penrose, Dr. T.D. Singh had. And the book he wrote himself on consciousness. So some of these are references. And related to Vedanta, these are some of the references he found, the founder. And these are some of the revolutionary books which really impacted our journey. Really our journey very deeply, our thought process. If you are looking for the issue of mind and consciousness from the lens of modern science. Actually, our Dr. D.D. Singh is really, when I met him, he forced me personally that, instructed me that you should go and study the works of the founder of the quantum physics. That's what his beginning instruction, very beginning. Means don't go, you see, we study quantum physics definitely in our BTech studies in IIT Kanpur. We had quantum physics 101, 201, but mostly these studies are focused on, mathematical equations and how to solve the problems, right? But the deeper understanding, really, so these are some of the books which are very revolutionary. In fact, Heisenberg, you see the subtitle, The Revolution in Modern Science. He himself was amazed. So this Heisenberg, Physics and Philosophy, is one of our favorite books. And what is life? Schrodinger. Philosophical problems of quantum physics, Heisenberg, is both light and light. Means how the issue of reality means deeper aspects started from light to electron, ultimately to light. Then Planck, the whole beginning of quantum physics, where is science going? Then Pauli, the innermost kernel, a lot of things about him, and then Schrodinger and Niels Bohr. So these are, if you are really looking at exploring the issues of mind consciousness through modern science lens, I request each one of you to kindly go through them very thoroughly. It really opens up. Okay, so the consciousness puzzle. Very short introduction. The institute, Bhakti Institute, has been involved in this conscious studies. This is 1990 conference we had in San Francisco. Many of the scholars actually which we hear today, John Searle, our David Chalmers, John Eccles, all of those came there. Actually after that the Journal of Consciousness study started. So this was near to UC Berkeley and a lot of scholars from UC Berkeley were also involved there. Then we had a conference in Calcutta specifically on quantum physics and consciousness. Many good scholars came. So this has been some of the works also recently in Andhra University and then in AIMS on brain, mind and consciousness. So this has been some of the issues specifically on mind and consciousness being focused by the institute. This is Crick, the Francis Crick, the Watson and Crick. Now is the time to think scientifically about consciousness and most important of all, the time to start experimental study serious, deliberated way. So, see, it is very important that Today, the development of physics and neuroscience, we should very deeply integrate philosophy and psychology with that. Otherwise, we always will live in clouds, doubts. So it is very important. Of course, that doesn't mean that everything will be solved. There are always gray areas, but so much development has happened in last 100 years that should help a very good portion of issues which we have in our these issues, philosophy issues. So that's why I was saying scientifically is very important these days because we already have something. I tell you, we had a we had a professor in America. He was a good friend of our Dr. Singh. He was a chemistry professor, quantum chemistry. He was teaching, and he used to say that when I talk to my biology friends, I feel very painful because they treat biology as if physics never happened. You understand? So much gap is there. So we cannot do that same with our this handling issues from philosophy or psychology without bringing in the developments in other disciplines. So this is consciousness puzzle. I have just put some of the disciplines. Quantum physics is very prominent. Every 1 week some book comes out. Quantum physics and mind and consciousness. Mathematics, this may not be very familiar, but our institute has probed into this foundations of mathematics a lot. We have conferences now, many conferences in this area. There are issues in mathematics which you cannot solve without bringing in consciousness. If I say something, you will laugh, and I like you to be laugh, you to be happy. If you go to the very root of the mathematics, even 1 plus 1 equal to 2, you will not be able to prove without consciousness. Means this is not me. This question is in the foundations of mathematics. It is very popular question in a subject called foundations of mathematics, root of mathematics. So these are the issue comes there. Formally, there is a specific branch in mathematics called intuitionism, in parallel to the formalism. So there are scholars, mathematicians, mostly situated in Netherlands, a small country but produce a lot of profound mathematicians, like Germany. So there we met many scholars and they are still continuing this work. Intuitionism means rooted in intuition, not just a formal system. So they still continue their lineage, the parampara, the papers are published now. Neuroscience, of course, lot of issues are there, some we will discuss later. Law, this issue is there now in the department called Department of Law and Neuroscience. Means if I slap you, who is slapping? There was just firing in my neurons. Take out the neuron, put it in the jail. Who is actually doing it? This is a question. This is black and white question. Two students are there, one slaps the other, both are studying neuroscience very nicely. Go to the judge. Judge says, why you slapped him? I did not slap him, there was a firing in my neuron, misfiring. You take out the neuron and put it in the jail. If you really believe that there is no core somebody responsible, then how do we handle the questions of responsibility? It's called issue of responsibility. So this law, this issue is there. AI, of course, very famous today, and we have so many issues because when you type ChatGPT, it says, I am thinking. Right? Thinking. 20 years back, I had a laptop called Thinking Pad, iPad. They use such a nice words, and then our young generation gets fully confused with thoughts, thinking, what is it? No, this is not, AI is not thinking. We will discuss that little bit, and then biomedical issues, of course, the origin of cell, how the first cell came, what actually life is. So this issue comes in every discipline today. It is not just a question in philosophy, it has penetrated everywhere. Introduction to thought. Okay, let us go. So it is estimated, it is not a scientific experimental data, but it says that we produce around 60,000 thoughts every day. 2,500 thoughts per hour. Now you can imagine your potential. If these thoughts are properly channelized in a positive, constructive way, so much can be done. But what happens? Where my thought goes? that person has probably more paper than me. See, mostly our thoughts are wasted in negativity. That's why a lot of potential is wasted. That we'll talk in Vedanta section in the last part. Okay, so about the thoughts. There are four aspects we'll cover. Can we see thoughts? I told you in the beginning, my lens will be more scientific, science side. Can we really see thoughts? Or at least can we detect thoughts with experiments? Can matter think? Thoughts versus thinking. This will go a little precise. So we will go into this one by one four. Can we see thoughts? See, we should get rid of this phrase very common. Seeing is believing. This was a very old phrase. Modern science has come a long way now. Most of the things in modern science you cannot see. 0.035% of the electromagnetic spectrum only you see. 0.0035 means entire infrared, ultraviolet, all those rays you don't see. Not only that, you don't see the electron. You see this laptop is working, you need electricity, which is said to be stream of electrons, but electron you don't see. You don't see 5-dimensional planes, but you work in that space. You don't see space, the space I am in, but we assume there is some space. So the seeing part, the limits of seeing is tremendously high. Means we see very small portion of reality. So do not expect that we can see everything. 95% of reality is really unseeable. Seeing in the sense traditional way of eyes. If you go further, so my request is here, proposal is you cannot see electromagnetic waves. Actually, thoughts are even subtler than the electromagnetic waves. When I talk on mobile, see the waves are coming. This is a very simple, crude example. The waves are coming. You are touching the mobile, but you cannot touch or you cannot see the electromagnetic waves, right? But they exist. Without that, you cannot talk. Thoughts are even subtler than these electromagnetic waves. This is nothing. The electromagnetic is nothing in front of thoughts subtlety. I will show you later. Try to show you little preciseness in that. If that is the case, if thoughts are very subtler than these even electromagnetic waves and electrons and all, then there are a lot of conclusions will come out. Which we will see probably little more later. Okay, so can we detect thoughts with experiments part? That part, this is the electromagnetic spectrum I was talking, visible spectra up and down. So you see, the ranges are like this. Gamma rays 10 to the power minus 11, or you can go 10 to the power minus 16. Electron range 10 to the power minus 19. The Planck's length, the space, the minimum which we have not yet probed. We are not able to go to that length. 10 to the power minus 35 meters. This is called Planck's length. So this also, actually thoughts are even subtler than this Planck's length. So how you really catch them in experiment? It's tremendously tough. But I still remain always optimistic. Not say it cannot at all, but it seems heavily difficult. We have not touched the 10 to the power minus 35, the Planck length also. Probe directly below the Planck scale. Okay, this is a little hard part, thought versus thinking. So let me try to be precise in this. There are 4 elements in this part, thought, thinking, and all. I am taking our simple example, this brain. So, what is the brain? This is a physical instrument which we can touch. I can touch my brain, your brain, and we can see. This is very clear, it exists. You can put in the lab, neurons are firing, you can get you can see the neurons, not a problem. Neuron firings you can see. But next part is thoughts. Non-physical, but they but very subtle material particle wave-like aspect in reality. Means this is also matter, more subtle than the electromagnetic waves, but it's still matter. We cannot touch, we cannot see. Okay? But it's still matter. Thinking. A state of consciousness involves understanding or meaning aspect. There comes next level. Means thinking involves, it uses thoughts, but it is beyond thoughts. There is here consciousness aspect now. And the fourth aspect is the person is experiencing the thinking process. The subject, the self, the atma, the soul, whatever word you want. So let me explain this with a simple example that will be more easily clear. See, like earlier we used to have microphone, you have this microphone sound waves and the person is hearing, right? We can take modern example of mobile phone and you have electromagnetic waves and you have, this person is talking, right? So now you see there are four parts in this. One is the mobile phone, the machine, the device, the physical structure with the ICs and all, right? So this you can touch and see. Similarly like our brain. I can touch and see. This is not a problem. Of course, it's not a problem means for IT companies there's a problem. They always like to use better chips. We visited Intel some year, 1 or 2 years ago in America. It is so amazing. They are using machines to make machines. Means so tiny chips they cannot make by their own hands. You need very precise machines to make that tiny chips. Okay, so this is one part. Now, second part is this electromagnetic waves which are going. You see, it is there. You cannot touch it. You cannot see it. It is proposing analogy for the thought. Third aspect, the talking, the hearing process or the talking process. So when I talk, of course mobile is involved, electromagnetic waves are involved, of course my mouth is involved, of course the neurons in the brain are involved, but there is something more going there that in the talking, there is a conscious experience of the talking and there is some understanding involved, which machine does not have, like neither the mobile has nor the computer. And the person who is having the experience, the hearer, the talker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's how we are trying to divide it in the brain, then brain part, then the thought, then thinking, and then the core subject. That's what I mean by thought and thinking process. Next is can matter think. That I am very clear. Though people in AI may get angry with me, they might be trying, but I am very clear. No, matter cannot think. Well, there are things like meaning. Does machine know what it is processing? We are very clear. Machine does not know what it is processing. I know. I give the command prompt. So machine processes, but it does not know that it is processing. So meaning or understanding is the same. Similarly, the brain. The neurons process, firing is going on, but neurons themselves do not know that it is processing. You know. Second is purpose. Machines do not have their own purpose. Be very clear about it. In this there is no any doubt. I give the purpose. So machines don't have their own purpose.